Peace, love, and light, everyone. This is Coach Ali coming in with a video regarding books, or a series of videos basically explaining books that have been of such great importance in my life and that have helped to shape the person that you see before you today. So on my social media pages earlier, I made a post about my love of books and of reading, and I promised that I would share videos discussing very important books, and you may want to check them out. There may be books that you've already read, or there may be books that you may want to check out. But today, the first video is going to be of the very first book that I ever read in my life. A little tidbit about me: I learned to read at a very early age, at 2 years old. I learned to talk early as well, but nevertheless, I learned to read very early. And the first book I read was Jack and the Beanstalk. Now, the copy of Jack and the Beanstalk that I had was falling apart, but all the pages were there. First book I ever read, and that book, the characters, the storyline, the theme, everything about the book, for me was my perfect fantasy. As a young girl, even, I had desire to help other people, and I saw my family was in financial crisis and stress. I come from a poor family, mostly, for the most part. I come from a very my family, on this particular side of my family, my maternal side, they are farmers, and they didn't have much. They suffered a fire probably about 5 years or so before my birth, but I know about the fire because they said they never fully recovered from the effects of the fire. So nevertheless, when I was growing up, for a good part of my childhood, I lived in a shotgun house. What they call a shotgun house. It is a wood house that literally, from the front door straight back, you can walk straight through the house. There was a very small living room area. That was the nicest part of that house. That was the part of the house that was somewhat comfortable enough, or my family felt comfortable enough for people to come and sit in. There was, living room chairs, a small dining room table, or a small coffee table, and there was another table with the telephone there. That was the only semblance of nicety in that house. There was a door there, and beyond that door there was one big living space that served as we had a very small bathroom off to the left, and when I say small, I mean small. We had a set of bunk beds. My parents' bed was over here, and that was basically a communal bedroom slash den slash everything area. And then there was a tiny kitchen off the back. We had a spigot. If you don't know what that is, that's outside running water. We took baths in tin tubs. I mean, this was like some before Ave shit. But nevertheless, it is what it is. It's a part of my childhood, and I'm not ashamed of it, because I've come from a mighty long way, and I've experienced a lot. That's just early childhood. Nevertheless, reading Jack and the Beanstalk, Jack didn't have much. It was just Jack and his mother. They were poor, and his mom sent him to do one thing, and he bought those magic beans. But at the end of the day, him purchasing the beans brought his family what they so desired, and that was some comfort, some money, some wealth, someone to acknowledge them. And I wanted that. I wanted to be able to stumble upon some magic beans and come into some money and be able to put my family in a huge house and make all of the strife of living under those types of conditions go away. We didn't have a lot of things. We didn't go hungry, but we didn't have a lot. And I could see the struggle. I always recognized it for what it was. And the sad thing about growing up with people that have been grown accustomed to poverty and struggle is they don't believe that they deserve or can achieve more. And so I feel like they missed out on some opportunities to expand beyond their circumstances and conditions because they did not believe that they could. They felt as though this was what they were meant to have. And this is not to the next statement or statements that I'm going to say. Please don't take this, in a negative manner. It just is what it is. So my family was super religious, very Christianized, and with that, excuse me, I apologize for that. Just a lot of background noise. I have children. So nevertheless, back to my video. So they were very religious, and they believe in the so-called these gifts of the spirit, and one of them is long suffering. And I think my family accepted their circumstances because they felt there was some kind of star in their crown from being a Christian, and that's what comes along with it. They one out of one side of their mouth they will be speaking about God wants us to have us to live in abundance, but out of the same mouth you saying that we need to be suffering. And I think that a lot of that it was ingrained in them. Another little fun fact about me: I am only 2 generations out of slavery. Well, 3 generations out of slavery. So not my grandmother, not my mother, my grandmother, my great-grandparent, my great-great-grandparents. My great-grandfather was born in 1904. This particular great-grandfather. I've done some history. Anyway, his parents were slaves. I found the documents. On my maternal grandfather's side, his grandfather was a slave. So I'm very close to that era, so I think a lot of that carried over. So nevertheless, I always was very what they call fanciful, and I've always lived in my imagination. Imagination is so important. I think without me having the imagination that I did, I would have given up on a lot of things very early. But because of books help to feed my imagination. I began to write. A good friend of mine who has known me many years, she and I had a discussion, and she reminded me, she said, I remember when we were about 6 years old, and you're like, I'm going to write a book. I have published poetry books, and I'm actually working on about to start a new project, but I have a couple that have been kind of simmering and I hadn't moved forward. But imagination is so important. So first book that has helped to shape Ashaki Ali. Some people know me still by my birth name of Andrea. The True Lioness is what I'm known by in my YouTube community. All the same individual, but the first book, Jack and the Beanstalk. Jack and the Beanstalk. I'm still searching for my golden goose. Still looking for it. Still striving toward it. And I have no doubt that it will come. My day will come. So until the next time and the next book, you guys take care. Have a wonderful weekend. A peaceful weekend. Be safe. And sending love and light to all my people that have been affected by the hurricanes, Hurricane Harvey and Irma. Sending you much peaceful and strengthening energy, and hoping all is well with everyone. And for the people that have lost family and friends in these storms, I empathize greatly with you. May love strengthen you, and hold tight to memories, because memories last forever. So you guys take care. Coach Ali signing off. I've been at this for about 10 minutes. I think that is efficient. You take care. I love you all so much.